How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse.
And I'm Grace from Running Warehouse.
And today we are going to be taking a first look at the new HOKA Tecton X3. Now the Tecton X series is really what started it all for HOKA in the carbon-plated trail scene. The first two versions of this shoe were really fast, fun, and nimble shoes. The pros loved them, but we really didn't see it on the feet when it came to ultra marathon 100-mile distances.
Right, and I liked the Tecton X2. I used it quite a bit for my workouts and a 50-miler I ran last year, but I also thought that there just wasn't quite enough protection for those longer distances. I think coming into version 3, I was really excited to see the prototype on Jim Walmsley at UTMB. It obviously performed really well for that 100-mile distance on technical terrain. So I think there's a lot to talk about because the shoe looks completely different now.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a new shoe. A lot to talk about, and I think we'll start off with the midsole. We've got a new full-length PEBA-based compound. We've seen these PEBA foams in some of the road shoes, like the Cielo X1, the Rocket X2. That PEBA-based compound just creates a little bit softer, bouncier, more responsive ride. Everyone's going the super foams, but you gotta change it up a little bit for the trails. In the Tecton X3, you've got a slightly softer PEBA compound on the top with a slightly firmer on the bottom, and wedged between that foam, you've got a carbon plate. Now, the plate is also a little bit different in this shoe. It's actually two plates that are gonna lie parallel to each other, really act as a suspension system. And another thing to note is the winglet design. It goes up the sidewalls on the medial and lateral side, and it just creates a little bit more inherently stable design that will work well in the trails.
Yeah, and I think having that additional cushioning stability is gonna just really broaden what this shoe can be used for. And I know when I race 100Ks and 100 milers, I really like shoes that have heightened stack heights and just a lot more cushion. I'm someone that prefers comfort over anything when I'm gonna be on a trail for hours and hours on end. So shoes like the New Balance More Trail, where there's just so much protection. And I think with the Tecton X3, it has those protective properties, but it also has the speed and performance element as well.
Yeah, you know, the Tecton X3 really offers that nice balance of protection and speed, but the midsole is only one upgrade. We also got to look down at the outsole. We've got a new Vibram Mega Grip setup. It's going to run full length. We've got these larger lugs, a lot beefier than what we saw in the last version, in the forefoot and in the heel. They're multi-directional. That'll give that nice bite. And you can't forget that secondary traction you see on the side of the lugs. That'll just give that little bit of extra micro traction, that extra bite when terrain gets a little rough.
Yeah, this outsole is such a huge upgrade from the previous model. Just in the rubber compound alone, you can feel it's a lot stickier. And I think that's gonna be really nice for when you're going into different elements. It's really common that in the middle of a race, it might start raining or you get up to a section with snow or mud. So having an outsole that can handle all of that is super beneficial.
Moving on up to the upper, again, on the theme of big changes with this shoe, we've got a radical design change. And I think the part that I'm most excited about is the matrix upper that runs through the sides of the shoe. That matrix design is always really durable. It helps make the material really thin, but without sacrificing any durability. We've also got this really nice soft panel in the forefoot that's really comfortable, and a seamless design that feels really natural on foot. And then of course, you can't forget about this crazy heel gaiter. I'm always a little skeptical of designs like this, but just on first feel, it actually felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and I think there will be quite a bit of people that might have some mixed feelings about the gaiter. I personally am pretty excited about it. One of my favorite trail shoes was the Nike Wild Horse 7 that had a gaiter-like upper. It wasn't as high as this one, but it had the same concept. It's there to keep debris out. So I think overall that with the matrix upper and the adaptability for the toe splay, I think this altogether is gonna perform really well.
Well, you know, look, the Tecton X3 is an all new shoe now. It's a true super shoe for the trails. PEBA-based foam, carbon plate, sticky grip, and the trail gaiter upper. Everything about this shoe is built to go far. It's built to be efficient, and I think it's gonna be the ultimate 100-mile shoe. If you're looking to get the HOKA Tecton X3 on your own feet, you can find it here at Running Warehouse.